We invented everything. Yeah. Thank God I'm black. Thank God I'm black. Thank God I'm black. We invented everything. Yeah. Thank God I'm black. Thank God I'm black. Thank God.
What's up? What's up? This is the Brothas podcast. We are an unapologetically black podcast, and we talk about business and life. And we have our guest today, Brother Winford. How you doing, man? Winford X. I'm sorry.
I'm good. I'm here, man. I'm here.
Good to see you. Good to see you, man. So we know a little bit about you, man. But can you give us just like a brief introduction of what you're about? You know, a little bit about yourself, where you're from, all that good stuff, so that our viewers can kind of get to know you here today.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm Brother Winford X, man. As most of y'all know, I'm from Dallas, Texas, born and raised. Came from a single parent family. My dad raised me. My mom and my dad, they divorced when I was 6 years old. I went with my pops. Good thing I did go with my pops. Naturally, as a youngster, you always want to go with your mom. But when my dad and my mom separated, he told the judge that, a woman can love her son, but she can't teach him how to be a man. So I ended up going with my pops, and those are the best thing that ever happened to me as far as principles as a man, being a man. I grew up in the hood, grew up in some rough spots. You know what I'm saying? Grew up in some rough spots, man, but I embraced it. Pops taught me how to fight, taught me what I needed to know, the principles of that. And just being in those environments and being a product of that environment, man, I started, becoming a part of that. He gave me all the things that I needed, the tools I needed. But at the same time, just being a part of that environment, it produces heredity, and you become a part of it. No matter what the environments are that heavy, and they're that powerful and effective that it takes more than a single parent. That's why it's very important of marriage. It's why we talk about marriage a lot in the Nation of Islam. I'm in the Nation of Islam, but we'll get to that. But that's the importance of marriage. I didn't understand that until now as a grown man. A lot of things that I've been through, I can see the effect of, the incompletion. But, we're taught in the nation to overcome any obstacle that we face. And that's what I'm doing, man. But, I did 15 years in prison, 19 years old. Went in at 19 years old.
Hold on. Don't give it all away. Hold on now. Hold on, Brother Winford.
Okay.
We go. So I hear a little bit of an accent, a little Southern twang to you. Where are you from, Brother Winford?
I'm from Dallas.
Dallas? Born and raised?
Yeah. Born and raised.
That's awesome. What was it like growing up down there, man?
Oh man, we dripping in swag. We swagging. We have that triple D swag,
Yes, sir.
It's the Texas thing, we call it the big state. Everything that we do in Texas, man, we like to do it big, and it's gangs here. A lot of people be saying that, hey, I'm from Cali, the gang. Oh, Texas respected, it's gangs here too, so I kind of came up in that environment, and it kind of shaped me a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And I got a part of that, man. But I played sports a lot. I played football. I played basketball, ran track. I did all that in the childhood. I had a good childhood, to be exact. I went out of town. I traveled. I played national football, man. Ran track on a national level, as a youngster in my youth. So I was very athletic. My pops always kept me busy, kept me in reading programs in the summer. But again, like I said, when you facing those type of environments, it takes more than just a pops. It takes a village to raise a child, man. And I didn't understand that until, I grew up a little, as I got older and started growing through some things and end up landing me in prison and making certain decisions that I shouldn't have made. But, everything happened for a reason.
Yes, sir. So I hear you say a lot about your pops. What was mom's like growing up? Was she around, or was she involved a lot as well?
Yeah, mom was around. when pops and mom, when my mother and my father divorced, she was around. She just, you know, she started her life over. You know, she started her life over, and I had two more siblings growing up. I was the youngest of the three, and I have a sister that's 3 years older than me right now, and I have a brother that's 7 years older than me. And my brother was my mother's son, but she wasn't my father's. He wasn't my father's son. But my sister, we have the same father and mother. And just being separated from them, that even mentally did something. You know, taking me away from my siblings and knowing that it's just me and pops now. So I had to, you know, learn how to pivot and get used to that. You know, and just being me and him, and being in an environment, you know, moving to a rough spot. You know what I'm saying? And having to survive.
Y'all was in the hood?
Yeah, I grew up in the hood. Yeah, I grew up in the hood, man. I grew up in the hood, man. It's called Highland Hills. It's in Oak Cliff.
I heard of Oak Cliff.
Yeah, I'm from Oak Cliff, man. You know, and I grew up in Highland Hills, man. Honestly, that's like the most feared neighborhood in Dallas, in Oak Cliff. You know, it is First 48. If you ever heard of that, they always there.
Always there. Yes, sir.
You know, yeah, First 48 was always there, man. So, to be honest, I was fortunate enough to be able to be snatched away from there. And sometimes we be in situations that look bad, but really those bad situations can save our life.
Yes, sir. Can you talk a little bit more about that? What can you expound upon that? What do you mean?
Yes, sir. Well, like I said, man, at 19, I went to prison. But, you know, when I got around like 15, 16, I kind of started getting away from the sports. I was losing interest in playing sports, man. I was losing a lot of interest real quickly because of the things I was surrounded by. Being able to come outside and see the dope boys, being able to see, you know, gang affiliation, seeing drug infested neighborhoods. And, you know, my dad, he always worked. He was a very independent man, got up, went to work. I always provided for me and him. But when you are going up against a neighborhood, when you're going up against an environment, the true intentions of a parent can be good for you, but they can't watch you. They can't watch your every move because they got to go to work. They still got to provide for you and the household.
That's right.
So during that time of his absence, it's time to do it. It's time to get with it. You know, and my dad used to always try to tell me, hey, man, I don't want you going into the back of those apartments. I don't want you doing this. But as a child and as a teenager, when someone tell you not to do something, that makes you curious to say, right, now I want to go. Why you don't want me to go back? So now I started doing that, man. And I didn't have to. You know, I don't never want to come off like I was just a street dude, because I'm not. I'm not just no heavy street gangster type of dude, because that's not me. But when I will say that me growing up in that environment, I chose to do that. So I put myself in that reality. You know, I didn't have to, but by the time I placed myself in that reality, and man, I was able to graduate. I graduated high school, you know, but even in high school, I was selling weed. I was hustling. I was, you know, I'm gonna tell you, going to the feds, I was robbing banks. That's what I went to the feds for, robbing banks.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about your childhood. I want to kind of segue into that. So you say you were in sports, everything's going good, but just being a product of being in the hood, you're seeing a lot of stuff around you. Now, when you say you lost focus, was that more on it was just like the environment was very depressing and bleak, or was it you saw people getting money, you saw people doing their thing? Like what caught your eye? It's a combination of all of it. You know, it's a combination of all of it. The effect of not having the motherly love every day, you know, that right there, that's absent. You know, and you know, when you coming up without the mother love. And see, my pops, man, you know, I love my pops, but my pops was, you know, he was a player. He had his pickings, and I was able to see that. I experienced that, and you know, I was always with him.
everywhere he went, I was around. So when I was young coming up, he used to just tell me, hey, we finna go eat some dinner. I'm like, where we going? And then we'll go meet some woman. I'm like, damn, okay. And she fixed me a plate. She might have some sons or some daughters my age or something. Hey, go in there and play. Y'all go meet each other, whatever. So being able to experience that young at that particular time, you don't know how that's affecting you mentally.
Correct.
Because you don't understand adult situations. You don't understand life yet. You're going with the flow, and that took place. And like I said, man, I started smoking weed, just the environment, just being around. And I remember my dad used to always tell me, hey, I don't want you going outside playing with these dudes. You can't have no company. I don't want them type of dudes in my house. And I'm like, who I'm gonna play with then? I'm a teenager. You know what I'm saying? We like 13, 14. We in a PlayStation. We in a Sega Genesis. We into those types of things. So you want somebody to come over, man, can he spend a night? Can we just have some fun? And you still want to do things as a child, but in that mix, him trying to be protective of me, here come the weed. Man, what is that? Man, go on, smoke a little bit of it, And I'm curious now. And that's when I started getting off into, these are my partners, these are my homeboys. See, my dad was there for me, but being in that environment, they never knew their daddy. Their mom probably was smoking dope. Their mom was probably strung out on crack. So
that's right.
They was hanging out all night. So I would look out my window and see them at 2 and 3 in the morning. And some of them would chunk rocks at my window and be like, come outside. And I used to be like, man, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's 2:30 in the morning. What y'all doing out there? And they was like, we out here having fun. And to me, it looked like fun. Like, man, y'all still hanging out. Y'all get to do what y'all
living.
Yeah, y'all get to do what y'all want to do. So honestly, man, that affected me too, because when I got around 15, 16, it started building a wedge between me and my father.
Correct.
I started getting into it in school. I started having fights at school. I started being gang affiliated. I started, repping my neighborhood. And I remember my first tattoo I got the tattoo of my neighborhood. And I hid it from my pop for like 6 months. And I had totally forgot about the tattoo. As time go on, you ain't thinking about that no more.
Yeah.
Man, one day we was sitting at home, me and my dad, and he looked at me and said, hey man, what's that on your, what is that? And I was like, what are you talking about? So I'm doing like this. What you talking? He said, man, is that a real tattoo? I looked, I said, oh, this old thing. I said, man, I've been having this. I've been having this, man. So he was like, what made you get that? Like, what does that say? And I said, it says Holland Hills. So he said, are you in the game? When you young, no, dad, this ain't no game, man. We just homeboy. He's my partner. This neighborhood thing, man. It's just the hood, you try to play that deceptive intelligence on a parent that already know everything that you're coming with, I went through that, man, but it started to build a wedge, man, because those were the only people that I knew, and that I had love for those people.
For sure.
I had love for those guys, man. And, when you have a parent that's trying to be concerned about your lifestyle and your well-being, and they telling you, them dudes ain't really your homeboy, that's building a wedge, because you don't understand that.
For sure.
A parent can tell you, hey, look, I'm trying to protect you because I can see what you can't see. You see what I'm saying? But when you 16 and you 15 and, y'all getting jumped at school and, you repping this hood, hey, man, I got to jump in too, because I got to fight. I gotta help the hood, So if I'm going to claim this and I'm going to represent this, then it's what it is. And I just kept getting into it at school. Daddy, my pop's coming up to the school. Son, you're going to get kicked out. I ended up getting kicked out. And I had to go to an alternative school. And, they said, my dad was like, man, if you don't finish school, you're going to end up going to the penitentiary. He used to tell me that all the time. You're going to end up dead, you're going to end up in the penitentiary. You're going to end up dead or you're going to end up in a penitentiary. He found the pistol I had. I had a pistol up under my mattress. He found it. What you doing with this? I'm like, man, what you doing under my bed, bro? What you going through all my stuff for? You know what I'm saying? And he like, what are you doing with this? But I didn't understand the danger that I was in.
Correct.
I didn't understand the signs and symbols are for the conscious mind. I didn't understand none of that. And time went on, man, it proceeded, and I went to an alternative school, made it out of the alternative school, was able to graduate, went back to a public school, not the same one, but another public school he sent me to. I was able to graduate on time. And once I graduated on time, I was selling weed and everything while I was in school. You know, I was doing all that inside of school, man, you know, so, but I was still able to graduate, you know, and once school was over, I was already robbing banks. I had already hit a couple of banks while I was in school. Wow. You know, with some homies that I hung with, like my crew. And once I seen that type of money, it was a wrap. It was on from there.
So did your father, did you ever end up getting kicked out of your home, or your daddy was riding with you?
No. After I graduated, I was still there, but me and one of my partners, we ended up getting a spot together. Okay. And I still had access to go in and out my pop crib though. You know, I still was able to come in and out, and I would be over there every day, but me and my partner, we had got us a spot together too. So I started selling weed. I'm out of school now. So I'm selling weed full time, and I'm robbing more banks. You know,
so what was that like? What was the goal, or what was the plan for you to transition from going to school to manhood? Was there ever a plan? Was anybody trying to sit you down with asking you?
At first, you know, we all had that college. I'm going to college, you know, I'm gonna go do this, you know, but that's something more of, it's more of a fad, you know, to keep your parents off of you. I'm gonna do this. And, you know, you saying what they want to hear, but on the reality of it, no, man, you know, my plan was to become like the boys on the block. You know, my plan was to be a dope boy. My plan was to get money. My plan was to have all the top females. My plan was to be the man. My plan was my crew to be on top. You know, that's where it landed me. You know, I landed doing those things, hustling, you know, selling pounds of weed, hitting licks. You know, when I robbed my first bank, it was like, I couldn't believe I did that. You know what I mean? But after I did it, like real bank, like after I did it, I was numb. Like when I seen that type of money, you know, we was able to get 75,000 in 2 minutes cash.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, shit, I know where it's on from here.
So take me back there. Like, how do you go from, you know, doing petty stuff, you know, I ain't gonna say petty, but petty in the scheme of robbing banks, right? To being able to be brave enough to, that takes some heart, bro. Everybody ain't signing up for that. Like, what was this? Was it like, you know, putting you on the things here and there, and then they eventually asked you, was it your idea to rob banks? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, no, it wasn't my idea. You know, my best friend, you know, one of my homies, one of my close friends, he had super clout. He had juice in the hood. You know, he was real good with his hands. He could fight real good. So he would always, you know, whoop dudes. You know, anytime we had trouble with any other neighborhoods, he was smashing dudes. You know what I'm saying? He had a reputation for whooping dudes and smashing dudes on sight. And that was my best friend. That was my partner. That was my close partner. I wasn't the fighting type. I was more like, I was known for the women. I was known for having the top chick at the school. You know, I was known for in the other women in other neighborhoods. They, oh, girl, that go little Winford. Girl, that go little Winford. So it was more of that. Like, I was more like the playboy, the pretty boy, you know, that type of. And so my partner always had to kind of take up for me because it was dudes in my own hood that was jealous of me.
I wanted to see. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they knew that in order to get to him, we got to deal with him, and we ain't ready to do that. You know what I'm saying? So even though I would fight myself, but it got to the point to where I started carrying a gun every day. I was packing a pistol, and I was like, man, I ain't finna do no fighting, you know? And I just had that mindset, like, you just growing up in that neighborhood, man, like, you know, you want that status so bad, man. And my partner, he was getting money, but he wasn't telling me what he was doing. And I was like, bro, what are you doing, man? You know, every time I come around, He buying me some shoes. You want some Forces? Yeah, I want some, but I want to get some myself though. I want my man. Show me where the money at. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on with it, man. Don't spoon feed me, man. You know,
put me on.
I want to eat, right?
Yeah, put me on.
So he was like, you really want to eat, huh? And I was like, yeah. He said, man, you ain't trying to eat. I said, yeah. So he was like, all right. And I'll never forget, bro. We went on a ride, me and him. We were smoking weed. And at this time, I was 18 years old. I was 18 years old. I was a senior. I was a senior in high school. Mm-hmm. And he asked me, he said, hey, man, he said, you want to get some real money? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Come on with it. Spit it out, you know? And he said, we're going to rob a bank. Man, I looked at that boy. I said, man, get the hell out of here, man. We ain't doing no stuff. What you tripping? And I could tell the way he was looking at me. He was like, no, I'm serious. And I was like, you serious? And the first time he said it, I said, hell no. I rejected it, bro. Because I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Hell no. But when he showed me a load of money, it was like, you trying to get some of this? And I was like, is this real? And he was like, yeah, it's real. When they say money is your God, they mean it, man. Yeah. Especially for Black people, for us who don't understand, who've been deprived all our life, for generation after generation. We've been deprived of nice things. Yeah. So naturally, money, we know that money brings success. Or that's what we think. Yeah. We think that money brings success. So all we ever see is, I'm poor. I need money. I need money. Mm-hmm. I need money. So once I seen that, man, I was in. And I hit my first bank. I hit my first lick with my partner, man. And, you know, we had another partner that was with us. And I never forget. I can remember like it was yesterday, man. And I just was like, man, you know, leading up to that time, like leading up to that, I'm like, man, am I gonna fold? You know, the day is getting closer. And I'm like, because we hit it on a Friday. I never forget. And when we got the information that we were going to hit it, we never had to case the bank. We already had the layout of the bank. We already had all that. We had an inside job on it. Yeah. And leading up to that Friday, that whole week, I was nervous as hell. I was just like, damn, every day I was having second thoughts as the day was getting closer. Like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And then, you know, it just got to the point where I'm steady seeing my surroundings. I'm seeing brothers having it, man. They having nice cars and all the type of all the nice women, they doing whatever they want to do. They living how they want to live. So that outweighed my conscience. And I went on ahead and did it. And we hit the lick, man, you know, and we came out in 2 minutes with $75,000. And we split that 3 ways, and that was $25,000. And at 18 years old, still in high school with $25,000 cash, I didn't look back. I kept doing it.
That's wild, man. So you go on to rob another one? Or like how long before you got to do this again? You got 25K.
Yeah, we rob. I'm just gonna say this, man, to continue to keep myself protected. Oh, they caught us for 4 of them. I was charged for 4 banks. All right, I was charged for 4. This went on for like a it was a short-lived run. You know, it wasn't something that it was short-lived. I went to the feds at 19. I graduate high school. I done already hit some licks. I'm having a little money. But once I was able to get fully into the street, before we could get going, we had robbed some more banks, got away with it, of course. But we ended up getting caught. But we didn't get caught in the bank. It was a couple of co-defendants, women. They end up getting caught. But at this time, I got money. I'm ready to score dope now. I'm ready to score bricks. I'm ready to get me some dope. You know, so now I got my own money to buy me some keys. You know, so I was already buying pounds of weed. And one of my partners was like, man, let's get some bricks. You know, let's get some bricks. The weed is moving, but we can move and we can flip a lot quicker if we just go ahead and invest in some dope. You know, so at first I wasn't with it, and I was like, well, man, we doing good. Just, you know, we're selling, getting the weed or whatever. And at this time, I don't know where y'all from, but, you know, they used to call it popcorn weed, you know, or they used to call it like top flight weed. And it's like mid weed, mid-grade weed, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the price on it in the street was a little pricey, but we was able to pay for it. So I was getting that. So I'm robbing banks and I'm investing in that, you know, getting pounds of weed and I'm selling weed. So that's how I was able to stay afloat in the street. And during this time and this course of this happening, I'm still getting into it with other neighborhoods. I'm going to the club. We got money. You know, we done bought us some cars. We buying all the top gear. You know, back then it was you got some J's on, you cool. But if you got some Gucci sneakers, oh, you super cool. How did you get the Gucci's? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
It wasn't no red bottom. It wasn't red bottoms. Dude. It was about the Gucci's. You know,
yes,
if you had Gucci sneakers, you was on, man. We talking about paying 500 to 800 for Gucci sneakers. Yes, you know what I'm saying? And people seeing that, they like, damn, you know. And man, I'm talking about just with the sneakers, you knocking off some of the top of the line females. They see that, they like, oh yeah, I'm going with him. Yeah, come on. You know, yeah, get on in. You know what I'm saying? So that's the life that we was living. We started getting into it. I'm having shootouts in other people's neighborhood. My pop's hearing about it. I'm trying to keep him out of it. But I'll never forget, man, one day, I end up getting his sister pregnant. And I didn't even know she was pregnant. And some more people came and told me, hey, man, Ashley say she pregnant. And I was like, man, I don't mess with her no more. And they was like, but she's going around saying she's pregnant by you. And so I was like, man, let me do some research. So I went, found where she was at, because she lived in the hood too. And I hadn't seen her in a while. And as I started talking to her and I, you know, looking at her stomach, she was pregnant. And I asked her, you know, who you pregnant by? And she was like, I'm pregnant by you. And you know how it is when you young, man. I'm like, how you know? You know what I'm saying? How I know you ain't messing with nobody else around here, you know, that type of stuff. You know, really, you running from your responsibility. You know, you know what it is. You know you've been doing this right here, right? I didn't run from it. When she told me she was pregnant by me, I said, okay, cool. You know, well, I'm ready to, I had money, so that wasn't a problem to take care of her and take care of my child and to prepare. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I got money, but I wasn't mentally prepared. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I got money, but I don't know nothing about being a father. Yeah. You know, those types of things never even crossed my mind. I'm in the street, man. You know, I have a little ring, my name ringing a little bit, my partner name ringing, our crew name ringing. And other people know us in other neighborhoods. They know not to come. If you come correct. Couple of my partners had got killed during this whole time. You know, I started getting into the street. So my hood got into some real heavy beefs. My name came up where dudes were saying that, hey, we're going to kill him. And I never forget, man, my baby mama was pregnant. And she called me on the phone. And she said, where you at? Where you at? And I'm like, what's wrong with you? What's up? What's up? Calm down. What's up? And she said, man, I need you to come to my house. And I go to her house and she's crying. She's crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's up? And she said, man, they say they're going to kill you. And I said, who? And she like, man, it's like different neighborhoods. Your name is surfacing in these people's neighborhood saying they gonna catch up with you. Don't you know, brother? That scared the hell out of me. Just for somebody to tell me your name is coming up saying that they gonna get you. That had never happened to me before. For somebody to put that out on me, put that hit on me in the streets and say, oh, yo, he's one of the names on the list that we gonna get him. That's right. And I remember telling my dad that. I remember going to my dad, telling my dad, Dad, look, man, this is what's going on. Man, some dudes talking about killing me. Now listen to my dad's reaction. Well, I know you in the street, son. Are Are you carrying a pistol? Do you got a gun? What kind of gun do you have? I'm listening to like what? What you just heard what I said? Like, and my dad looked at me and said, son, I go to work every day. I've shown you I've done what I could.
That's right.
I gotta continue to go to work and be the example and let you know, in order for a man to survive, a man gotta get up and go to work and work for what he wants. What you doing in these streets? He said, that's not my life. That's something that you have to face that. I'm 18. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. Thinking that was going to change me, it really sped me up because I was like, okay, they coming to get me. I'm going to go to them.
Yeah.
Me and my crew, we got together, and, we went on some capers. We went on some late night creeps. We stole some cars. We went into some neighborhoods. We got on all black. And the grace of God, I always look for the dudes that was looking for me, but on three different occasions, I never found the dudes that was looking for me. But I would go to their neighborhoods looking for them.
Wow.
And I never found them. But I know now, as I reflect back, God had already chosen me to do something what I'm doing right now.
That's it.
I didn't know it then, but God had already said, you belong to me.
That's right.
So, not too long after that, man, I was ready to score some bricks, score some dope. Mm-hmm. And one of the girls called me, one of my co-defendants, she called me and said, hey, where you at? I'm like, hey, what's going on? This and that. And she was like, hey, you still trying to do that? You still trying to score some work? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And she was like, meet me at the spot. Meet me at my house. I'm like, cool. I go to her house. Now, I got a backpack full of money. I got guns on me, too. I got one of my other partners that's with me, too. And at that time, he was 17. I'm 19 at the time now. And I go to the spot where we always go and do our thing or whatever. And when I go to her house, her daughter was there, which I know. My co-defendant, she's a lot older than me, but her daughter was there, and we was like the same age. So I go in, we 19. Hey, what's up? Where your mom at? She like, I ain't seen my mom. I thought she was with y'all. That's a red flag right there. So I'm like, what you mean? I just got off the phone about an hour ago with her. She told me to meet her right here. Oh, man, I haven't heard from her. Just chill out. She might be back. Okay, cool. I sit back. I'm counting the money, getting my money together, getting the money ready. Some told me to go to the window. We was upstairs. Some told me to go and look out the window. I look out the window. I see 2 police cars. And I'm looking at the police cars, and I'm like, damn, what's going on over here? And I could see a police officer looking towards the apartment where I was at. And he's looking up at the apartment. He's pointing at the apartment. And I'm like, is he pointing up here? And I'm like, damn, what the hell going on? So I'm trying to get all the money together and put the money back in the bag so I can get up out of there. By the time that happened, man, it's like 10 police cars came from both sides. They got dogs and everything, and they coming up. I could see them coming out. I could see them at the window, coming up towards the breezeway into the unit, and I could hear the dogs barking, and I could hear them saying the door number was 2050, and I could hear the police saying, "They in 2050. They in 2050. They just, we seen suspects. We identified. We seen him. So they was already staking out, but I didn't see them. You see what I'm saying? So they was already watching me. The whole time I came to the house, to the apartment, I didn't know that they was already staking out watching me. And it was nowhere I could go. I couldn't run. I couldn't try to hurry up because I was upstairs. And the way I have to come out, you can't go, like on the back end. You got to come out the same. It's only a one way. So I had to come down the stairs. So, the police, they had the whole unit surrounded. And they was like, hey, we know you armed and dangerous. We don't. And I'm like, damn. So my other co-defendant, he was in the house with me. And he was like, man, what we going to do? And I was like, really, it's nothing we can do. And we surrendered. We went to jail. And That was the last time I was on the street, and I was 19 years old, man, when that happened. And my crew went down. The girls, they went down. Come to find out, the girls had got caught on the video surveillance from different banks. And they would see the girls, and the feds was looking at our pattern. Watch this right here. The girl that told on us, she got pulled over for like a tail light or something. When they ran the car and seen who it was, they was like, oh, they seen, and they put two and two together, and they seen her. And once they told her, hey, we know who you are, and they showed her the surveillance of the bank, she panicked, and she said she told them everything. Wow.
So you end up going to prison. What year was this?
This was 2000.
2000.
Yep.
Okay.
In the year 2000, I was 19 years old. June 30th.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So let's talk about that experience a little bit more. How much time did they end up giving you?
I ended up doing 17 and a half.
Okay. So you get to prison. It's Fed time?
It's Fed time. It's federal. Yes, sir.
What's going through your mind, man?
Man, hey, man fear what he don't understand. Man fear the unknown. That's a natural thing. Going into another environment, going into a whole nother situation like that, I was fearful, man. Damn. First thing on my mind is knowing that, hey, I'm finna go in here and I'm gonna have to represent. I'm gonna have to go in here and fight. You see all the stuff on TV. You looking at what go on TV. You hear about other people coming home from prison, dudes big. You like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Is it really going down like that? Yes, it's really going down like that. It's actually going down just like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn. So it's me and my co-defendant, because I had 6 co-defendants. 6. It was four men and 2 women, right? 4 men and 2 women. So me and my other co-defendant, we end up going in together.
And this your best friend?
Yes, me and him end up going in together.
Okay.
And that's another sign from God as well, because through the most course of our time, we was able to stay together.
Wow.
So you have somebody that you can lean on. You don't know nobody. You going into a whole nother environment. And we was 19. So when I went in, I remember dudes looking at me saying, man, how old are you, man? Like, you look like you're 13. You like you're 14 years old, And I'm sitting in there like, man, I'm gonna have to stab somebody, or I'm gonna have to do something, because I was a little bitty dude, bro. I was real skinny. I was real skinny, So, and my neighborhood was highly known. Yeah. So I don't know if dudes are beefing with my neighborhood or not in this environment. You know what I'm saying? So that's what comes with the territory. So yes, I was afraid, but I didn't show it. I knew, okay, it's time to go into a whole nother form of things, man. So let's get with it. So, but just having my partner and knowing that we had each other, that really helped. That helped a lot, because we was able to lean on each other with that fear, and we was able to turn that fear into knowing that, hey, it is what it is. We're gonna rock out together. And we met some good dudes, man. I met some good brothers. There was some situations, man. I had a couple of scuffles in the beginning, just on some, we playing basketball, or we playing spades, or we playing dominoes, and it's, it's some, nigga, whatever type of stuff going on. And, well, it is what it is. And man, we can fade this court over here. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the first time in prison, my first prison fight, you don't never forget that. You scared, you nervous, you like, oh man, I gotta show up. Okay, he didn't call me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what's crazy is the dude called me to the little room and was like, come on down here. So it was some more brothers like, hey, youngster, they was calling me youngster. Hey, you going? Man, I looked at my partner, he like, bro, you gotta go. Like, go on in there. You're like, hey, go on in there. So I'm nervous. I'm nervous, but I go in and just think about this. I want y'all to really think about this, honestly. Dude called me out, go in this little room. He already in there waiting on me. Other brothers are looking around. Hey, youngster, come on. My partner telling me, come on, we repping where we from, going in there. When I'm going in there, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell have I got myself into?
Yeah.
Damn, what's going on, man? What am I doing? And we go in, we scuffle, we getting it on. I get the best of him. So now after that happened, you would think that would calm me down, but after I get the best of him, that turned my light on. Like, oh shit, it's on now. It's like we repping even harder now. Like, shit, let's get it on. Let's do it. A lot of times when they say that prison is to reform you, that's a lie.
Yeah,
that's a lie. You have to do that yourself.
There you go.
But the setup of prison is designed to destroy us and to keep us separated. But yeah, man, that was a hell of a. Every time I think about it, man, it give me chills.
So you're in prison for a while. Well, I don't know how long, but you're in prison, and then eventually, fast forward a little bit, going on, you become familiar with the teachings, or you're studying on your own, or you got some homies that are kind of putting you on to some of the teachings as far as the nation. What was that like? Yeah, now, when did that happen? Yeah, all right. Yeah, this is what happened. Like, okay, it took me like 6 or 7 months to get sentenced. Okay. All right. So when I got sentenced, they sentenced me to 17 and a half years. They sentenced my partner to 17 and a half years. Now, we're thinking that we was going to stay together. They split us up. After they sent me to Oklahoma. They sent me to a place called El Reno, Oklahoma. It's a federal security. It's a medium high, meaning that it's like a maximum security, but it's right under a maximum security prison. And they sent me there. And they was like, youngster, man, you finna go to El Reno. And I was like, what is that? And they was like, bro, it's rock and roll in there, man. And I was like, man, why y'all sending me there? I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to stay in Texas. And when they split me and my partner up, they sent everybody to Oklahoma Transfer Center. It's a federal Oklahoma Transfer Center that all the federal people go to in the feds, no matter where you at in the state, no matter West Coast, East Coast, South, Midwest, wherever you at, everybody has to go to this federal place in Oklahoma. It's a transfer center, and that's where you go and you get where you're gonna be going wherever in the United States, whatever federal prison you're gonna end up going to, right? Makes sense. Me and my partner, when we get to Oklahoma Transfer Center, they was putting, we going in this room and we getting where we gonna be at, bro. I go in, they tell me El Reno, okay, cool. So my partner, he go in, and when he come out, we looking at each other. He like, where they sending you? And I'm thinking, I'm like, we going to El Reno. And he looked at me, he was like, they send you to El Reno for real? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, where they send you? He said, they sending me to Three Rivers. That's by San Antonio. And I'm like, what? I was like, man, quit lying. So he's showing me on his paper. He's showing me his paperwork. The facility he's going to is in San Antonio. I'm finna go to Oklahoma. We finna split up. It's my best friend. We've been together for 7 months in this prison. So now I really got to be on my own now. Yeah. And he got to be on his own. That's another mental strain. Like, damn. Okay, it's finna get real. It's finna get real. You go in here, you don't know what's finna happen. You don't know nobody there. You got to protect yourself. You got to do what you got to do. I end up getting there, bro. My mans go to San Antonio. They shoot me to Oklahoma. When I get there, I see guys. I was affiliated with Bloods when I was on the street. So as soon as I get there, big old dude,
from Texas Family. He's in a gang called Texas Family. That's the biggest gang in the South among blacks in the feds. It's called TF, Texas Family. When he seen me come in, he recruited me. He said, hey, you from Dallas, right? I said, yeah. He said, we already knew you was coming. He said, this is Texas Family, and you're going to be a part of us. And I was like, no disrespect, but where the Bloods at? I said, I'm not in no Texas Family. I don't know nothing about that. You know, my gang that I'm affiliated with is Paru Bloods. And he was like, oh, okay. I met some dudes that was from East Dallas, 415. They Bloods out of East Dallas. Most of my family is from East Dallas. Now I'm finna show you. Look at God now. I don't know what's going on. My cousin, he's one of the shot callers of the Bloods on the compound, on the whole yard. When I get there, he see me. Immediately put me under his wing. So I'm like, I'm like, boy, God is good.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, God is good.
Sir.
I don't know what's going on. And my cousin, he been locked up since 95.
Okay.
So it's 2000. So, you know, at this time, he been locked up 5 years already. So he already know how the ropes go, you know. And I didn't see him. I ain't seen him in some years. Boy, big and everything. I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? So this really is, it's real in here. Y'all lifting weights and y'all really getting it in here, right? So he like, yeah, man. You know, he said, yeah. So I felt pretty good, man. I felt pretty good. I was ready to call my dad. My dad was nervous. You know, I'm in a prison now. You know, he can't be here to help me, you know, and I called him and told him I was all right. Told him I told him, you know, B-Love was here, you know, and he was like, yeah, man. He said, that's what I was going to tell you. B-Love is there. And I said, I already ran into him. They gave me a energy pack, which when you first come on the yard, they give you shoes, they give you sweats, they give you everything that you need. It's like a care package. You know, they give you
an energy pack.
When you first go to prison, when you go to prison, you taught, don't take nothing for nobody. Don't take nothing. So when I first got there, you know, people was trying to hand me stuff, and I was like, nah, I'm good. And they was like, nah, I heard. And I'm like, nah, I don't want that, man, because I don't want you thinking you finna get no butt. I don't want you to be I don't know what. Yeah, so that's how I'm thinking. Like, nah, I don't owe you nothing, Holmes. You know what I'm saying? So, but my cousin was like, nah, homie, these the Bloods, these the homies. Like, nah, you good. You know what I'm saying? You good. So just on his name, I had sweats, I had shoes, I had food, I had, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I played that for a while. I ran with the Bloods for like 2 years of my 2 years of my bid. When I first got locked up, bro, for the 2 years when I hit the federal penitentiary that I was gonna be on in Oklahoma, I ran with the Blood affiliation group for like 2 years. And it's called UBN, United Blood Nation. That's where this come from. This right here. You know, the 5-point star. Once they seen that, because I got this when I got there. And I was letting everybody know that, okay, that's what he is. He's under the 5. Vice Lords, they under the 5. You know, Travelers, Four Corner Hustlers, they under the 5. Latin Kings, they under the 5. So I started seeing, oh, we got homies, we got help, we got family. You know what I'm saying? So it's when I started understanding the politics of being in a federal penitentiary. This when I started understanding that there is no way that you can come to prison and say that you don't rep nothing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's designed for us to fail. It's designed for us to be divided against one another. You cannot come to prison. There is no way that you can go to prison and say, oh, all of a sudden you want to be a good boy. Oh, I don't do none of that. What? You better choose. If you don't want to choose for yourself, you got gangs that'll choose for you.
Wow.
Okay, well, you're going to be a part of this. I don't want to be a part of this. Okay, well, you better choose something. You got to do something. So, I'm going to tell you what a lot of brothers do. A lot of brothers will go in and say, I'm a Christian. That's the protection. you know, you get up under that Christian leadership, or some brothers even get into the protection of being Muslim in Islam. I'll tell you about that. When I first got there, my cellmate had been locked up like 23 years. Mm-hmm. When they put me in a cell with a dude had been locked up 23 years, he was a 5%er. He was from New York. And when I got in there, man, you know, I talked to him. Hey, man, how you doing? He knew I was young. He like, man, how old are you, youngster? I said, I'm 19. He's like, damn, young, bro. What you doing in here, man? What are you doing? And, you know, we started talking or whatever. And he was very different. He was different. You know, his uniform was always ironed real neat. The cell was real clean. You know, he had message to the black man, you know, sitting up. When I started I didn't know nothing about this, you know, and he had this on my bed, message to the black man. And one day I came into the room and it was on my bed. And I thought, well, what is this doing on my bed? So I got it and I put it on his bed. And when he came in the room, he said, hey, did you read that book? And I said, nah, man. I said, it was on my bed. He said, nah, I want you to read it. And I was like, all right, bro. So I read it. And it took me like 4 days or 5 days to read the book. I put the book back on his bed. And I went out. I'm with my blood homies or whatever. I come back in the cell. The book is on my bed again. So I'm like, bro, you know, so I come in and I'm like, hey, man, you left this on my, you know, you left this on. He was like, read it again. I read it again, bro. Now, this time it took me like 3 days. I read it twice. I put the book back on his bed. I'm gone. I come back in the cell. The book is on my bed again for the third time. Now I'm thinking that he's trying to play me. Now I'm thinking that he's trying to scheme and he's trying to plot and he's trying to do something to me. You know, he's trying to win. I don't know what's going on with this dude. For sure. But now I'm like, say, man, I'm finna have to whoop this dude. And he an older cat, too. I'm like, man, I'm finna go and do something to him. Now, I still got in my mind, you know, that blood mentality. These my partners. I'm hanging with my guys. I read it for a third time. And it took me like 2 days. So I didn't put it back on his bed for him to do it again. I gave it to him while he was in the room. Here, man. Let me get this to you right now and let you know that I didn't read this book. Here. So he said, you read? I said, yeah, man. That's the third time. So he started laughing and he said, you know why I had you read that 3 times, little brother? I said, no, I don't. He said, the first time I wanted you to read it to have the knowledge of the book. He said, the second time was for the wisdom of the book. And the third time was for the understanding of the book. Bro, I had never heard that before, man. And I was intrigued. And I was like, looking at him like, are you Malcolm X? You know what I'm saying? So, you know how you had that perception that, you know, you had that perception like, man, so this is really real in here, man. So you see the movie Malcolm X and you be like, oh, so it's really going down like that in here.
Yes,
huh?
Sir.
You know, so, but the brother he never had ill intentions toward me. He never had, he was really trying to put me under his wing and help me. Yes, you know what I'm saying? So when I read that, and every time he spoke to me, every time he talked, I thought he was Malcolm X. I was like, damn, this brother is powerful. And he was an older brother. His boots stayed shine. The floor, he waxed the floor every day, man. And I'm like, man, the room is too clean. You could drop something on the floor, pick it up and start eating again. You know what I'm saying? That's how clean our cell was. And he was always neat. And I remember him closing the door. No, when we locked down, because at that time I was in a high custody, so they locked your doors. When they locked our doors, he would unscrew the light and he showed me 2 knives this big. He said, if you ever get into it with a guy, I want to show you where to come get you a weapon. And I'm looking and the knives, and I'm saying to myself, oh, we definitely not in the street. You can't shoot no more. You got to get up on him. You got to get up on him where it's real. He showed me 2 knives made of fiberglass. And it had tape wrapped around the end of it. And I'm looking at this and I said, man, let me look at that. And so I'm looking at it. And he's telling me, he said, you know, if you get caught with this, they can add time to you, to your sentence that you already have. So I'm already thinking like, bro, I don't want that, man. Please, I don't need that. I don't need that, man. I'm thinking about more time. And he said, I'm not trying to scare you. He said, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to prepare you for things that you're going to see. Not if you see them, when you see them. And I'm sitting here like, damn, this is real, man. It's real, you know? And the whole time I'm still talking to God. Don't know what I'm saying. But God God is the all-knowing. He knows us better than we know ourselves. Even when we don't know what to say, God is handling the whole situation. And to be honest, now that I look back, that brother, to me, was an angel in human form. That was an angel.
You go.
He was an angel.
There you go.
And God is telling me, you chosen. I'm finna protect you. I'm gonna protect you because it's something bigger that I need you to do. And I knew where they were in the light. Thank God. Never had to go in the light. Never had to go get them. I never had to go get them.
Awesome.
But I did have some scuffles. I got into it with one brother one time, was out of Pasadena, California. He was a blood too. Pasadena Lane. I never forget. Me and the brother got in an argument and I called the brother a bitch to his face. But when I called him a bitch, I didn't follow up with it. I left it right there. And that was the worst mistake that I could have ever made. And the very next day, they would pop out doors. Hold on, let me turn this. Hold on, I gotta plug my laptop up because it's finna go off.
Yes, sir.
They would pop our doors at 5 o'clock in the morning. Right? And I get into it with this dude, man. And when I get into it with this brother, you know, we have a misunderstanding with each other. And he's from Pasadena Lane. So this is what he tell me. Ain't no real bloods in Texas. Texas don't gang bang like California. So that made me hot as hell. I'm like, what you mean? What you mean we don't gang bang like California? Y'all bang where y'all bang. Just because y'all started it don't mean y'all the only ones who making it happen. Yes, sir. And so we arguing about that. So I called him out of his name. I said, man, you know, shit, you don't ever give me the greeting. You don't ever give me the blood sign. You don't ever say nothing to me. So, you know what I'm saying? You always watching me, but now you want to talk negative. I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? You got bitch ways. You act like a bitch. So all the partners, they laugh and y'all chill out, man. I'm like, no, you know what I'm saying? And the whole nigga, with this, whatever. So, dude, he calling me out my name. I'm calling him out his name. And we squash it, man. I ain't tripping. But I'm not thinking this guy had already been locked up like 12 years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not scared of him. You know, I'll fight him. And I'm saying to myself, shit, I don't think you can hit me no more times I can hit you. So it is what it is. But it calmed down. So I thought it was over with. That next morning, I'm in my cell. They popped the doors at 5 o'clock. I got up. When they pop, and it's a good thing that I did get up. When they popped the doors, I got up. And when I got up to use the restroom. And before I knew it, I could see a shadow slide in my room. And before I knew it, he hit me so hard, man. And he dropped me. He hit me and I fell. And he got on top of me and he looked at me and the light was still off. But I know he was right in my face and he said, nigga, this your last day on this earth. And man, you don't know, bro, my heart dropped so much. And the dude started hitting me. He hit me in my face. He hit me in my head. So I can hear something like a chain. And I'm trying to cover myself and protect myself. And I'm grabbing him at the same time. but he didn't already drop me from the first blow. So I'm trying to grab him. He steady hitting me. Nigga, I kill you, I kill you, I kill you. So I heard something like a chain, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what is he hitting me with? He hitting me with something. What is he hitting me with? Come to find out, he had a lock and a sock, and he had it knotted up. So he had the sock in his hand, but he had the lock tied in the sock where he had a grip on it where he hit me like this. And I'm talking about, boy, he hitting my head. That thing stinging up there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to, I'm trying to do all this right here, and I'm trying to move. And something in me told me, if you stay down, you're gonna die. Some told me to get up. I got up, bro, and I picked him up, and I dunked him on the floor, and the door came open. And when we fell outside from the cell, the lock that he had in his hand, it slid. So I got on top of him, but by this time I was already blooded. Blood was dripping in my eyes. I couldn't see. I was so scared and my adrenaline was pumping. I got on top of him and I was just hitting him and I wouldn't let him go. I had his shirt like this and I couldn't see him, but I knew I was hitting him because I could feel my hand hitting him in the face like this right here. So I could hear the guards saying, fight, 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 lock down. And people was coming out of their rooms. And they cut all the lights on, and a guard grabbed me. I'm little. A guard grabbed me and slung me off a dude, and another guard grabbed him. Bro, I was covered in blood, and I was so scared, and I was looking at all this blood, and I was like, what the hell, man? And I could hear people saying, youngster, man, that's youngster, that's little Dallas, that's little D-Town, that's little homie, that's the blood homie. And I'm shocked, like what just happened? You know what I'm saying? Police grab him, they grab me. The lieutenant come in, it's a woman, white woman. She come in, she looked at my face and did like, she said, oh my God. She said, oh my God. She said, oh my God. And when she's saying that, I'm looking at her like, oh my God, what? What the hell you looking at? You know what I'm saying? So, when the dude was hitting me with the lock, he bust my head open. So, and you know, when you see a lot of blood, it look worse than it really is because you're just looking at blood. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this blood is dripping in my face. I look down. I had on some sweatpants that I slept in. So I'm looking, my sweatpants got blood on them and stuff. So they take us both out of there. They take me to the infirmities and they put me in a shower that got medicine. They put you in a special shower and you get up under the shower and it's medicine, like some type of stuff that come out through the shower, but it's cleaning your wounds and it gets all over your body. And I felt my face stinging, I felt my head stinging, and I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm nervous. I don't have no mirror or nothing, so I'm like, damn. The only thing I'm thinking is, man, this dude didn't disfigure my face, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna look the same. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing going through my head. So once I got all that done, you know, when I got out the shower, when I got to the mirror and looked, it was like a little open right here on my head. At that time, I was 20. I was 20 years old. I had a little open on my head, like a little gash, right, that I needed stitches for. And they asked me, they said, hey, you're going to need stitches. And so they was like, we're going to put some, and I don't want no stitches because I didn't want to leave a mark. So they gave me some liquid stitches, you know, it's like liquid stitches. Yes, or whatever. So I ended up getting that, man. And I went to the hole. I couldn't go back to the yard. I didn't go right back to the yard. They put me in the hole. And I stayed in the hole for probably a month, you know, while they was investigating, because they saying, okay, this is a dude who's affiliated with Bloods. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna tell you about this too. Like wherever you go, when you go to a yard, they ask you, gang unit, they ask you, they take pictures of your tattoos, they do all that. They gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? They gotta make sure, because I can give them props in this, the prison system. If you gang affiliated, they got to look at your tattoos to see who you with. And if your gang is not on this compound, and you know your rival gang is on that compound, don't try to act hard and say, I'm going out there anyway. No, I can't go out there. You know what I'm saying? Because if I go out there, once they see my test, they already know what I'm about. They already know who I'm with. So I know I can't go there. Now, it's your discretion. The police will say, hey, look, we can release you to this yard, but you got to sign these papers to say, and don't you know some gangs, if you go to a yard, don't you know some gangs make you go out there, man? They make you go out there to say that this is what it is. Man, your life is in danger, and they make you go out there. So I just want y'all to understand, this is a whole nother world from being raised by a single father, getting into these types of things, playing sports, through my youth. Now I'm in a whole nother world, bro. Yeah. And I'm saying to myself almost every day, like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? How did I get here? God, what am I doing? So I stayed in the hole for like a month, man. And the other brother, he ended up staying in the hole a month, but they ended up shipping him. The only reason why they didn't ship me, I was 20 years old. Mm. And other people on the compound that was on the yard, they vouched for me and said, no, man, that's a youngster, man. He's young. He got family. His people come from Texas to Oklahoma to come visit him every week. Bro, my dad came and seen me every weekend for 2 years straight.
Wow.
Every weekend. You got 52 weeks in a whole year. 104 weeks. My dad came every weekend to come see me. He would be tired. He would be in the visiting room, just sleep. He'd be in there sleep, and I'll be like, man, you all right? And he'll be like, man, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Because he worked, and I had to tell him, man, quit coming up here. You ain't got to come up here this weekend. He'd be like, nah, man, I'm come see you. I'm come see you. And I said, nah, man, you don't have to come up here every week. And he'd be like, nah, man, until he knew, okay, you all right now. Mm-hmm. And I had to convince him, I'm all right, man. I don't got to see you every week. I'm good, man. I'm all right. And he said, man, you got it. You all right? You good? I say, yeah, I'm good, man. And I appreciate that out of my dad, man. It was just the love that he had for me.
That's but
yes, sir. And after that happened, I started seeing the Muslims. Mm-hmm. When I was in the hole, I was thinking, like, I got to try something different. I can't keep living like this. I can't keep doing this. And I seen how the Muslims, they was moving, man. And I ended up taking my Shahada. I ended up becoming Muslim.
What's that for people that don't know?
A Shahada is like when you take a declaration. You take a faith, like an oath.
Thank you, brother.
Like a declaration, like a faith declaration, like, okay, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah.
Or a vow.
You taking a vow. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
To be a part of faith. And I did that, man. And, my blood partners was like, is this something that you really want to do? And I said, yeah, man, I don't want to do this anymore. Because I had a son that I had left in the street. I left the mother of my child. I left her pregnant to be a mother, a single parent mother. And I just would remember seeing my son all the time in my head, like, and something clicked in me then. And I said, well, if I don't want my son to go through what I went through, that means I have to change my life now. I got to start right now, not then. I got to have a vision to start changing so his life won't go like my life went. And I went to my cousin and I told him, I said, hey, because he was one of the shot callers. It was 2 shot callers on the compound for all the Bloods, for the UBN, United Blood Nation. One guy out of Pasadena and one guy from Dallas. And I told my cousin, by him being the top shot caller, I was like, bro, this ain't something I want to do anymore. And he was like, so what are you going to do? I said, man, I'm finna get with the Muslims. He said, you finna get with the Muslims? I'm like, yeah. And so he was like, okay. He said, as long as you're doing something positive, you good. You know, you're still good with us too. And I said, okay, cool. You know, and he said, I want to see you actually doing what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, oh yeah, man, I'm good. And that's what I did. Once I got with the Muslims, man, and started learning and started praying, that's when God really, really started talking. And that's when God was saying, yeah, you making the right move. You made the right decision. And I started experiencing the culture of being Muslim. I started learning. I started reading. I started studying more. You know, I found myself doing what we doing now. I found myself talking to brothers. But at this time, I was in the Sunni Islam. I wasn't in the nation. Yeah, I wasn't in the nation. And to speed it up, I did that for 7 years, bro. I did that for 7 years. But I ended up transferring out of that penitentiary after 5 years. I did 5 years flat in Oklahoma. After that, my custody level dropped. And it put me at a low custody facility where I could go to a nicer place. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that was in Seagoville, Texas. You know, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Seagoville, but Seagoville is right out here, and it's a federal spot out here. I ended up going there. I was home. So I had been away from home for 5 years. Even though I was getting visits, you know, I hadn't seen my mother, though. I hadn't seen my mother for the first 5 years of my whole bid, because me and my mom was okay. But by my dad and my mom being divorced, listen to what I'm saying. By my mom and my dad being divorced, my dad used to say things about my mother that wasn't good. So by me hearing that, naturally, I'm taking Pop's side.
Yeah.
I'm living with my dad. So now you put me in a situation where grown-ups, you and my mom is beefing. So now you've exposed me to the way that you feel about my mother. So now I'm looking at her sideways too.
Correct.
My mom, she didn't come see me the whole 5 years I was locked up in Oklahoma. When I got to Seagoville, when I got back into Texas, I called everybody, let them know, hey, I'm back in Texas. I was happy, man. I was happy to get out of there, bro. And I was like, so when I got back into Texas, in Seagoville, that's right outside of Dallas, and I started seeing all type of people I knew from the streets. But I had already been locked up 5 years, so a lot of people that I was seeing, I was a little mature. Like, okay, this ain't my first. Hey, I've been gone 5 years. I've been out the world 5 years. I'm 24 years old at the time when I transferred. And, I had blood homies there, but I wasn't really on that. I was still, they knew I was, affiliated, but I wasn't really just about that like that. They knew I was Muslim. And I did the Muslim thing, man. I kept the movement going. I was in the Sunni community. And this is what made me get into the Nation of Islam. By me calling the Adhan, every Ramadan that came about, every year when Ramadan came, I would ask the brothers that was in the nation, I would ask them, hey, man, do y'all want to make congregational salat? If y'all don't know what congregational salat is, it's when all the Muslims make salat together. It's during Ramadan when you break fast, we make salat together. And a lot of the brothers that was a part of the Sunni community was saying, they not real Muslims. Them ain't real Muslims, man. And I was like, damn, what you mean? He was like, oh, man, they don't believe this. They believe in dude named Farrakhan and all this old type of stuff. And so it naturally, when they was telling me that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, whatever. And I just couldn't shake that, because when I would observe them, I'm going to show y'all something about results. That's why I'm always talking about results and just observing something. You telling me something about a people, but when I'm observing them, it's different. I'm like, man, I'm not seeing what y'all saying, man. Y'all saying some bad stuff about these brothers, but I'm trying to figure out what y'all saying. I can't see what y'all saying bad. What are they doing bad? What makes them not Muslim? That made me curious. So I started talking to some of the brothers, and the brother that I used to dialogue with he was in the nation, and we used to work in the kitchen together. We used to cook food and stuff together. He brought me a study guide that the Nation of Islam come out of, a self-improvement study guide, and it's called Study Guide number 19, The Knowledge of God. When I read that study guide, I took this back to my cell, and when I read this, this is when I knew that what he gave me to read, I knew right then, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I'm supposed to be a part of right here, because in Knowledge of God, number 19, it broke down the difference between brain and mind. The brain is something that's finite, meaning that's an organ that you can peel the skin off the layer of your head and you can see your brain. But the mind is something that you can't see. But that does not mean that it's not a reality. Mm-hmm. And when they broke that down and said the mind is the greatest thing that God ever created, the mind is in the brain. When I heard that, I was like, damn, I've never heard that before. And it intrigued me to learn more. And when they told me, have you ever heard of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? I was like, yeah, I heard of him, you know. And they said, have you ever listened to him? No, I haven't. The first time he ever opened his mouth, when I went and I was invited to listen to him. When I heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan start speaking, his words were so powerful. I just started crying in front of all them brothers. I was crying, literally crying, bro. And, you know, they came and hugged me and they said, it's all right, youngster. They said, it's all right. And they said, welcome home. And I knew it. I said, God was telling me, this is where you belong. Because it made so much sense. It made so much sense. And I was like, the black man is God. What? To hear that the black man is God. What do you mean we God? My whole life I've been seeing gang affiliation. I've been seeing self-hate. I've been seeing, you know, our people strung out on drugs. I've been seeing gang banging. I've been seeing, what you mean the black man can't be God? How? But looking at the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, watching him as an example, to see him, I said, yes, the black man is God. Being able to hear him explain. Bro, after I heard him, every day, I'm going to the chapel. I'm looking at different DVDs of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan every day, every single day. I told the Sunni community that I was a part of, I said, hey, man, I'm finna start studying with the brothers in the nation. And they was like, but bro, them ain't real Muslim. I said, man, look, going on with that foolishness, you know? And some brothers was mad at me. And some brothers said, hey, brother, keep going, keep journeying. That's your journey. And I did. And I respected those brothers that gave me that, you know, respect to go on and do my thing. And after that, bro, I had been locked up 8 years. That happened in 2008. I got out in 2015. So from 2008 to 2015, I was building with the Nation of Islam. Okay. And that's when that pivotal time, that 7 years time span, me building with the teachings of the nation of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, guided by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. When that happened, I knew then that this was building me up and it was preparing me for what was about to happen when I got back out. And I got strong enough to where at this point I'm speaking now. I'm the person who's speaking on the yard, representing the Nation of Islam. Brothers was coming. They was listening too. Like, damn, brother, I didn't even know I could speak. You know, I didn't know, because I'm like, damn, you know. And brothers like brothers crying, looking at me crying. Brother, that was powerful what you said. And I'm like, really? And they was like, brother, that's some powerful stuff. And I'm like, wow. And I just knew I was home, and I kept going, bro. And I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. And by the time I knew it, man, it just had built up to where I knew that it wasn't nothing else.
That's powerful. So you eventually do your time, you get out. What's that transition like when you get home? You know, what are you doing? Like, how are things going? Like, how is it adapting to being back home?
Well, you know, getting out, I'm looking at your dread, Sean. Mine was a little longer than that.
Wow.
You know, when I came home, I had been growing them for 7 years, man, and they was long, bro. And I came home with the dreads, whole new look. You know, even though I was in the teachings of the nation, when I came home, just after doing 15 years, naturally, as a man, I was free. After doing 15 years, I was free. And I'm like, I can't believe. So you mean to tell me I can go anywhere I want and I can sit down and eat? Oh, I was vegetarian too for 6 years when I came home. I had been vegetarian for 6 years when I came home. And actually, I stayed vegetarian for 4 years. I've been home 5 years, and I had started eating chicken, but I ended up getting back off of it. Now I just eat fish and vegetables now. But when I came home, bro, seeing all these different restaurants, oh man, we got this. I was like, boy, I'm finna break this thing, boy. I'm like, say, it's time to go in. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at all these restaurants. I wanted to drink liquor. People was telling me about Ciroc. I'm always hearing about Ciroc.
Oh, so you went from not doing none of that to coming home just indulging in everything.
Yeah, because you be confined for so long.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I tell brothers this all the time. I don't care how much you read or what you do when you inside. What matters is when you hit the streets. That's gonna show the real you. That's gonna show the real you, because you're not being tested by the things that you're gonna be able to do once you get out.
Yes, sir.
You already know things can restrain you from doing something, because you know if I do it in here, it's a penalty for it. You see what I'm saying? That's not a real test. The real test is when you're free to do whatever you want to do on your own given time. And I'm gonna tell you what else is the big test. Here come the woman. Here come the woman. You back. All this time being strung up in prison. See, I tell people this all the time, brothers, that anytime a man go into prison, I don't care if you want to help it or not, you're unbalanced, because man is for woman and woman is for man.
That's right.
Anytime you go in an environment like that, you don't have the woman. I don't care how many books you read. I don't care how many times you pray. You still an unbalanced man. Because in your nature, you don't have the woman that's there for you, for your needs. How can you be complete and you lacking the better part of yourself? You can't be.
That's right.
I didn't understand that until I started reading the teachings. But I was like, wow, once I started reading what the minister Farrakhan was saying, and I reflected to my existence and my reality, I would be like, damn, that's crazy. It's true. So when I came home, my brother and them was like, man, let's throw a party. I was like, nah, I don't want no party, but we can get together. I said, man, what you want? I said, man, I've been hearing about this pineapple Ciroc. Can I just let me taste it? I just need to figure what this out. I want to taste some Patron. I want to taste what the Patron tastes like. Let me get some of that. And so I tasted it, you know, looking at women in magazines and the guards, you know, you lusting on the guards, and, you know, you doing your thing in there with the magazines, and you taking care of your business with that, to actually be in front of a women and women lined up knowing I'm home and they like, hey, I'm like, ooh, I can do what I want. I wasn't one of the ones that had to, I ain't paying for nothing. I ain't got to pay for nothing. They coming to me and they put money in my pocket, and I can do what I want. So I'm like, I mean, honestly, I love to talk to brothers like this, because I need them to know it's not being conceited. It's not bragging. It's reality, man. It's real. This is stuff that really happens. And I want brothers to understand that this is what they have to prepare themselves for. And if you're not here, they can take you all the way left, man. They can take you somewhere else. And by the time you know it, you're with the wrong woman. You back selling drugs. You back in the streets. You have a reprobated mind. Now you back in prison again, bro, with a fresh 20.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's living in hell. That's living in hell, man. I never had to experience that, and this is the reason why. Homie, when I came home, I had women, you know, they was putting money in my pocket. Here, you know, my family structure. I had support that was there for me when I came home. You know, I had a place to stay. I went to my dad's house. I had women's house I could have went to, but I chose my pop crib. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to leave my options open. I wanted to play a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to play. So I was like, man, you know, I got, you know, I got my picking, my choosing, right? So I ended up getting a job at a warehouse. I was making $12 an hour. Now, I want y'all to think about this. I'm 34 years old. After 15 years, I left the streets at 19. I'm 34 years old. When people tell you your mind and your life stops, if you get incarcerated and you do 10, 15, 20 years and you come back, when they say that when you get out, your mind is still going to be like it was when you left, that's true. That's a fact. I don't care how many books you read. I don't care how much you change your life. Mentally, I left the streets at 19. That's all I knew when I was in society. So when I came back, yes, I'm 34 now. My build is bigger. I've been hitting weights out of all this time. I look different. I'm looking young still. I'm still preserved. But my mind wasn't 34. Mm-hmm. I wasn't 34 in the mind. I was 21, 22 years old. But this is what saved my life. This is what saved my mind. Not having a reprobated mind, because my partners asked me for dope. They tried to introduce me to dope, and they tried to present.
Brother Winford, can you clear up that word for me? I just want to make sure everybody following you. When you say a reprobated mind, like what does that mean for our viewers? Having a reprobated mind, meaning you having a regress of the things that you did to get you in prison. The lifestyle that you was living to get you incarcerated, you slip back into that mindset and you start indulging in those situations and those events that are laying you back in prison. So what had me not having a reprobated mind, I was drinking. I would smoke some kush here and there. I would do that, you know, but I was still conscious at the same time. I was still listening to the minister. I was still watching the minister while all this was happening. All this was going on. I was still looking at the minister on YouTube. And I got a job making $12 an hour. Now, here it is. I'm 34 years old. I'm at a warehouse, working at Kohl's warehouse, seasonal job. And here it is. It's 18 and 19-year-olds running around everywhere. It's like I was going into high school, and I'm like, damn, what's going on here? And I ain't gonna even lie. I was crunk, though. I was like, ooh, they got stuff everywhere in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, it's going down in here, man. You know, and all the girls are like, oh, are you from New Orleans? They thought I was from Louisiana because I had long dreads and I had two goals up here, two goals at the bottom. Yeah,
oh, you must be from New Orleans. Oh, you from New Orleans. I'm like, no, I'm not from New Orleans. I'm from Dallas. And they was like, oh, you from New Orleans? And man, you know, just making $12 an hour, working at a warehouse. I'm working with 18 and 19-year-olds. I got homies telling me, hey, look, here go 5 pounds of kush. The street value for each pound is $3,200. I'm going to give you this. You don't owe me nothing. I'm glad you home. Here go 5 pounds. $3,200 a pound? And you giving me these just because I made it home after 15 years? I think about the teachings. Me at 15 years, man. 15 years. Brother Winford, remember standing in line with a tray for them to put something on your tray, a little portion of food on your tray. All these women in here watching you. You a grown-ass man standing in line to get a little portion of food put on your tray. And once you eat that, you got to go and ask another grown-ass man, can I have some seconds? If they tell you no, you got to go on out the kitchen. It's up to them. It's their discretion to see if you can have seconds or not.
That's right.
They have the power to see, yeah, go ahead. Nah, you know what? Get on out of here. Come on, man. We grown men. That's how I knew I wasn't going back to prison. I learned that when I was going through it. In my head, I said, oh, I'd never do this again.
Yes, sir.
I'd never be humiliated like this. I'd never be embarrassed like this ever again. Mm-hmm. I ain't got to have that problem. I ain't going through this no more. Mm-hmm. So when that happened, I thought about all those things when I was making $12 an hour at Kohl's warehouse. Mm-hmm. And guess what I was doing when I was working? I was happy to work because I was out. I wasn't tripping on, shoot, I'm working. I'm out. I wasn't one of the ones saying $12 an hour, man, I'm going to the block. No, sir. I just did 15 years. I'm going to work with this $12. I'm going to work with this because I know that the teachings have showed me and the teachings are instilled in me. Even though I'm drinking, even though I'm having fun with the little females here and there, the teachings. That's why I love Solomon, the prophet Solomon in the Bible, because God allowed Solomon to go all over the earth. Whatever Solomon wanted, he wondered about things. God allowed him to do these things, but God allowed him to attain his wisdom while he was doing these things. Mm-hmm. Why would God allow him to keep his wisdom and he's doing things that God disliked? See, we got to be careful when we judge people. We got to be careful when we see something on the surface and we looking at a person and we say, oh, this ain't no godly person. They doing this. How do you know?
That's right.
You got to be careful on how you judge a person. So when that happened, I said, I'm just going to hold down, man. And I'm going to stay, keep working. I went from Kohl's. I started working at Amazon. My little pay went up a little bit. I went from $12 to like $13.50. I was still working with it, and I was staying with my pops, and I end up meeting this girl. She was from New Orleans. Woo, she was tough. She was tough. And let me say this about them New Orleans.
Isn't that ironic?
hey, look here, man. Listen, I'm gonna say this, man. When they say, "Oh, man, you got to be careful with them New Orleans girls," they ain't lying. They is not lying, bro. This girl was so beautiful, so bad, and she chose your boy. You know, she chose me, and she had money. She had money. I'm living with my pops. She told me, hey, you know, we went out a couple times. We did our little thing. We went to Razoo's and we went to Benny Hunters. We did a little thing. What's that? She paying for everything. She looking at me like a trophy. Like, I got you. Don't worry about nothing. She pulling out black cards. I ain't got no money to pay for this stuff. No way. You know what I'm saying? So she doing everything. We end up doing our thing. She moved me to her house. Big 2-story house. Mm-hmm. My dad told me not to go. He said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I said, man, I'm out of here. Get my stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm gone. Because me and my dad, we started bumping heads.
Yeah.
What y'all to think about this? Even though I was blessed to go to my dad's house, it felt like I went from prison to prison. Yeah. Because here it is, I'm a grown man, and I'm going to my dad's house, which I'm thankful for. But okay, here's your room right here. My room, I just left a room. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful because the room I'm in a queen size bed, big old puffy pillows. It was comfortable. I could sleep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but after 3 or 4 weeks, after like 3 weeks to a month, you know, my dad is married, you know, but see, my dad, you know, he been married a long time. But see, my dad married, when my dad was 34, he married a 19-year-old. She was 19. He was 34, she was 19. And they still together right to this day. My dad's 66 and she's 51, something like that. And they've been together all this time. Wow. So look, when I go to my pop's house, I'm feeling uncomfortable because they got to be uncomfortable. Now they got to walk around with clothes on. You know, when it's just you and your wife, you walk around how you want to walk around in your drawers, naked if you want to. Now they can't do that no more. They can't do that because now I'm in their house.
You in there.
Right. So I'm knowing that they uncomfortable. I'm knowing they uncomfortable. And it's making me uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So when she would cook, she can cook, man. She can burn too, bro. She can burn. Bro, when she would cook, I would be in the room, bro, I'm smelling that food, and she would say, they call me Win. She'd say, Win, the food is ready. It made me think about like I was in prison again. And I'm like, here it is, I'm a grown ass man, and she's fixing my plate, she fixing me food. I'm eating this food, going back to my room, and I'm like, damn, man, I gotta get the hell out of here. You know, and this is what broke the camel's back. One day I was in the room, brother. I got the door closed. My dad just walked in there, man. He just opened the door up. I said, say, man, what you doing? He said, man, he had his drawers on. He said, man, it's my house. What you talking about? He like, what you mean what I'm doing? It's my house. I said, hold on, I understand that, but
the baby boy joint.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Exactly, bro. So, you know, me and my dad started bumping heads, and it's like me and his wife, we would sit up in the living room, we would sit up and talk. My dad would be asleep. I'd be in there talking to her about, you know, what I went through in prison, and she telling me this, you know, stay strong and stay focused, stuff like this. Here it is, we be in there talking. Wee hours of the morning, my dad would get up. He looking at me, what you doing? What you mean what I'm doing? we just chopping it up. And I'm saying to myself, I know he ain't think I'm trying to do something with his wife, is he? But I got to understand something.
Yes.
It's two lines. Two lines can't remain in the same jump. You know what I'm saying? So I knew the pressure was on me. And I ain't gonna lie, brother. I started having an anxiety because I'm like, okay, I'm only making $13 an hour. I'm working at Amazon. Something got to happen. That's when I met old girl. So that's when I was like, I'm gone. I got all my stuff. The chick from New Orleans. I started living with her. Oh, it's on now. She gave me a black card. Oh, brother, she gave me a black card. She opened up her garage and said, you see that car right there? You take that one. I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about. So it really knocked me off. It knocked me off my square to understand, to stay focused to what I lost focus for a minute because I'm living in this big old house. She done gave me keys to this car. And she done gave me the black card, gave me the number to it and said, if you ever need something here, just use this. I'm looking at her like, you serious? And she like, yeah, you fine. She has some children. So her children, they like me. You know, I'm in there with her children and stuff, man. We know I'm a part of the house now. But watch this. I wasn't working. She was telling me, you ain't got to get no job. I'm telling me, I'm going to give me a job. I got to find me a job. She telling me, you ain't got to find no job. You all right? I'm knocking her down every night. Now I'm fresh out, so you know I'm standing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing up. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So she like, you ain't gotta get no job, but I'm not understanding. Listen, I'm not understanding this though. I'm not seeing the game that she's playing. I'm not seeing the game she's playing. Now, I go back by my dad in them house. I'm in her car. I pull up. He looking, who car is this? I'm like, yeah, man, you know. Yeah, I'm doing my thing. My dad tell me, be careful. He said, I want you to be careful. He said, because he said, you know what she doing? So what you mean? He said, man, you her play toy. I'm like, her play toy? I'm like, I'm laughing at my dad. I'm like, no, she's my play toy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, she's my play toy. And he like, no, the joke's on you. Because I stopped thinking about my next move.
There you go.
I got relaxed in the condition that I was in the situation. Every time I told her that I wanted this, I got brand new everything, bro. But it had no value to it because it wasn't mine. And it got to the point to where I remember one day we was driving, me and her was in the car. And I said something to her, and this is what she did. She looked at me and she said, boy, who you talking to? I said, no, who you talking to? And she was like, I do all this. I take care of everything. And I was like, I heard my dad's words. You a play toy to her. You a baby boy to her. And I was like, damn. Now I'm all the way uncomfortable. I got to get the hell out of here. We started having arguments all the time. I would leave her house and go back to my dad's house for about 2 or 3 days. Me and her get into it. I take a suitcase with me and go back to my dad's house, and he'll say, because I still had a key, he'll come home from work, he'll be like, what's up, man? I'm like, oh man, me and so-and-so got into it. So I'm back here. So he like, all right. I did that like 3 times. The third time I did it, he said, no, sir. He said, no, sir, this is the last time that you're going to be here. No, sir. He said, you can't keep doing this. He said, if you keep doing this, that's not the woman for you. Get focused, son, and cut this woman loose. Man, I'm going to tell y'all, man. Bro, I tried. But that's what I'm talking about, them New Orleans women. She did something to me to where I couldn't leave, bro. I'm telling you, I could not leave.
She put a root on you. Listen,
bro, I could not.
Brother Winford, listen to me.
Bro.
Listen to me, Brother Win. I've seen it. Listen, I don't want to get y'all the story, but I got to tell you this. One of my close friends.
Yes, sir.
I've seen the same thing happen to you.
Yeah.
Happen to him. This lady did something to him. He couldn't even leave out the front yard. Bro. He started getting sick.
Bro,
listen. She put a curse on him.
Yeah, I couldn't leave, homie. I couldn't leave. And let me tell you about this, brother Sean. Let me tell you about this. I used to get so much praise on my dreads. I'm gonna show you a picture of them. I got pictures of them. Yes, man, my dreads was so clean, man. And then I end up dyeing my dreads, and I dyed my whole dreads like my whole hair was like a reddish orange. All my dreads were like a reddish orange. So, man, I'm having it my way, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, like, I'm like, man. And so my daddy was like, man, leave her. And I was like, man, you crazy. I'm not leaving this woman. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't leave, bro. And I said, what did you do to me? And she said, I ain't did nothing to you. And let me tell you this. Guess what I ate almost 3 times a week?
Oh, Lord.
Spaghetti.
I knew he was about to
spaghetti.
I ate spaghetti like 3 times a week. I bull crap y'all not, bro.
No.
I knew he was about to say that.
For real. Bro. Bro, everything that I'm saying, Allah's my witness, bro. I ate spaghetti. And bro, and listen, it was good. And I used to tell her, man, make me some spaghetti. Make me some spaghetti. It got to the point to where I was requesting it. Wow. Man, make me some spaghetti, man. I want spaghetti. And she would always cook for me. She would always bring something. And she would always be at my beck and call, man. And I couldn't leave. And it got real ugly, man, to where I know we've been on a long time. It got almost to where I almost lost my life. Yeah. You know, with the situation, because she had somebody, but I didn't know it. And the guy that she had was in prison and he was on his way home. I didn't know it. I didn't know. One day we just, middle of the night, she wake me up in the middle of the night. She said, hey, real calm. Hey, my dude come home in 2 weeks, so you're going to have to go back to your dad's house. What? At this time, I had been living with her about 11 months, almost 12 months, almost a whole year. I've been living with this woman. I know her children. We go everywhere together. Me and her children, we all out doing it big. Listen, I'm taking pictures. We walking on the lake. I'm with the family. You know what I'm saying? We taking pictures. We feeding the ducks and all. We take a picture with us. Hey, we doing all, you know, the whole time. I'm the trophy. I'm her play toy.
Yeah.
Man, when she told me that, man, I'm telling you, y'all, this girl was so beautiful, so fine. I couldn't get past the looks.
Yeah, that's what it be.
I couldn't get past the looks, bro. Flawless body. I'm talking about flawless victory. Her body, flawless. I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, man, I'm here. And, you know, I ended up leaving. It was hard for me to leave. You know, she cried. You know, I cried. I cried, brother. I cried. I was like, damn. I'm like, what's up? What we gonna do now? She like, man, I love you. I still want to be with you and this and that. Her dude ended up coming home. But I'm back with my pops though. I'm back on my pop crib. My dad told me, he said, man, listen, you gotta find you somewhere to stay. When he said that, I was still working at Amazon. And after he said that, probably like a month after he said that, my little checks that I was getting from them, I didn't do nothing. I bought me like 2 cases of ramen noodles. I stopped going to eat. I stopped going out fast food. I stopped going to Chili's. I stopped all that because I knew, I said, every check that come in right now, I got to save these checks so I can put down on me an apartment, man. I got to get out of here. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. I bought me a whole thing of ramen noodle soups and I ate that because I was determined. I knew I can't. But watch this. Me and old girl, we kept messing around. When her dude came home, we argue. You lied, this and that. Woo, you ain't love me. Yes, I do. And I didn't know how to tell you. I was scared. And woo, I love you. Would I still be trying to come see you? So we would pay for rooms. I would get rooms. My daddy told me, he said, you still having sex with that woman? I'm like, yeah. He said, no, son. Don't be, no. She got to do that at home. Yeah, don't. And she's telling me, we getting a divorce. I don't want him. You the one I love, this and that. I'm telling my daddy, man, she finna divorce him. I'm going back. So he like, come on, son. He said, man, what that woman do to you? I said, man, I don't know what she did. But make a long story short, brothers, I would get a room. Me and her would go to the room. We'll go to the room and I'd do my thing with her. She would tell me, I love you. Me and him getting divorced. They end up getting a divorce, but watch what happened. One day, because I would call her. And she told me, she said, me and him don't sleep around. Man, he sleep in another, because the house was big. He sleep in the guest room. We don't do this and that. So I would call her daughter. Where dude at? Oh. And her daughter was like 12, 11. But her daughter loved me, though. Her daughter loved me.
She was rocking with you, yeah.
Yeah. Where dude at? Now, her daughter would tell me the truth. Her daughter would tell me because her daughter didn't like the dude. And she told me, yeah, she said, I said, where dude at? And she said, oh, he in there with my mama. I said, in the world with your mama. Oh, they in the room. With the door closed? Yeah. Boy, I'm hot. I'm hot. I'm like, man, say, somebody finna die. Listen, man, it's funny, but I'm telling y'all the truth of what I've been through. And God allowed me to make it out of that.
There you go.
Bro, I went to this woman's house. I can't believe I'm saying this. I went to this woman's house, bro. And she was telling me that the dude, he ended up moving out. But every time I would see this. She told me she had just bought she had some nice cars. She told me she had bought, but to come to find out, the house and all this.
That was his. You know it.
She had a lot of it. That was hers. But of course, she put the 2 on the 10. She amped it up a little bit. Oh, this mine. Come on in. So one day, I seen a clean SS Challenger. I'm talking about that bad boy was souped up, black and red. I'm talking about all the feet, the rally stripes. That boy, she told me, she said, I just bought me a new Challenger. You can tell it's a man car, but she's still running game on me. But I don't know. I just bought me a Challenger. She showed it to me. Look, I'm looking in the phone. I'm like, this your car? And she like, yeah. I'm like, what you get this for? Man, this look like, man, somebody gonna rob you for this here, man. Dude come on, man. Come to find out it was his car, but she steady lying to me. She steady using me to, let's get a room. All right. I'm knocking her down. So one day I go to her house. It's about 11 o'clock at night. She told me that dude wasn't there anymore, but I still couldn't come there because they were still in the midst of the divorce. So every time I would call her, her phone would go straight to voicemail. But when I would drive by her house, this Challenger would be sitting outside. And I was like, man, this gotta be a dude car. And then I'll be calling, going straight to voicemail. Then the next morning, she'll call me, hey, baby. And I'm like, hey, what's up? I've been calling. And she was like, man, I was asleep. I was knocked out. One day, man, I just said, you know what, bro, I'm telling y'all, I lost weight. I lost weight, like physically. I lost weight thinking about what I was going through with this. She was tough. And I was like, man, I can't get past this woman. I can't shake her. Bro, I had some other ones, though, was tough, too. Boy, I was looking at them like they was 2s and 3s. I was like, man, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do nothing with y'all. And I ended up going to this woman's house about 11:30 at night. I knocked on the door, bro. I went to the, I'm going to the door. I knocked on the door, bro. I went and knocked on the door.
No.
And listen, dude opened the door. And when I looked at him, he was an older brother. He was an older dude. I looked at the brother. I said, man, is so-and-so home? He didn't say, nigga, who is you? He looked at me. He said, hold on. He left, closed the door. But when he closed the door, I bagged up and I went back by my car because I said, he might got a pistol or something. He might be going to go get a pistol or something. So I bagged up out, I went back by my car. And he came back to the door. She said she don't want to come to the door. So I said, cool. I said, okay, cool. I said, man, ain't no disrespect to you. He's looked at me. He said, ain't no disrespect. He said, ain't no disrespect. He said, but she said she's not coming to the door. I said, all right, bet. And when I was driving off, she calling me on my phone. And when I answered the phone, she in the house. I said, why don't you come outside, man? I said, step outside. And she said, no, I'm not coming outside. And when she said she wasn't coming outside, I was like, so you gonna do me like this here, man? You lying, you just lying, like you steady. All this, you, man, you know what I'm saying? We getting these rooms and stuff, and you talking about you finna leave, dude, and all this. Doing this whole time, I'm struggling with holding myself up, but I'm still reading the teachings. That's what's holding me up. I'm telling y'all, this is what kept me holding myself up, is listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And that was making me come out of what I was going through, man. Mm-hmm. And it's like the minister was talking to me saying, you done came too far. You know too much now to waste it like this. You about to self-destruct. You finna do something and you about to get yourself killed, man. So I parted ways with her. Mm-hmm. I got my own place. When I got my own place, she would call, block. I ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? I end up getting another job at another warehouse where I was making. They hired me to make $15 an hour. So I went from making $12 an hour to making $13.50 at Amazon, and I started working at another warehouse where I was making $15 an hour. I had my own place by this time. I started working. I started working, so I'm working. And I did that, but the whole time I'm saying to myself, just don't get back in the street. Just keep doing what you're doing. God is showing you that piece by piece, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I had a 94 Camry. My dad had gave it to me when I came home. I had a 94 Camry that he gave me because all the stuff that I was with her, that was gone. Was gone. It was a mirage. It wasn't real. So my dad gave me a 94 Camry, and I was saying to myself, man, thank God for this, man. So I'm driving to work, making $15 an hour with a 94 Camry. By this time, I meet Brother Ben. I'm looking at the Minister Farrakhan on YouTube. Brother Ben video, get your money up. Man, he rapping on there. You know that video that little
Yes,
Brother Ben, get your money up. You know, Muhammad Ali and about me. So I'm steady hearing that. Every time I look at a video of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, this song is coming on before I'm looking at the minister. So I didn't got accustomed to rapping this little song. So I'm like, who is this dude? This dude going off on her, man. And so when I started looking, I started seeing Brother Ben X. I started commenting. We started commenting with each other. And we started dialoguing about the teachings, about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I told him, yeah, I did time before, man, and this and that with the bam. And me and Brother Ben, that's how we started. That's how we met each other. We was back and forth. I didn't know Brother Ben was in Texas. I didn't know where Brother Ben was. All I knew was me and him. He gave me his information on Facebook, and we started going. We was back and forth, you know, just dialoguing on Facebook. And I would look at some of his little skits. I would start looking at, and I was like, man, this little brother right here is sharp.
Yeah.
Man, at this time, Brother Ben 26 now. He was 23. He was 23, 22, getting ready to be 23 at the time. Watch this. We had been dialoguing for like a month or two. One day, never asked him where he was at, never asked him what city you in, what state you in. All we used to talk about was the teachings and self-improvement. Mm-hmm. One day, I'm in my own place. I never forget, I was cleaning up. Somebody knocked on my door. I'm not expecting no company. You know, y'all know black people, we ain't just opening no door. We, and especially the life we didn't live, we like, let me look out this window and see what's going on over here. So I look out the window, I see a silhouette of a body going back downstairs. So I open the door up and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? What's up with y'all? It was two brothers. And when Brother Ben looked up, he looked up. It was Brother Ben. And I looked at him and I said, Assalamu alaikum, Brother Ben. And he looked at me, he said, wa alaikum salam. So he was looking at me like, do I know you? And I said, you don't even know who it is, do you? He looked at me, he said, no, sir, I don't. I said, it's Brother Winford from social media, from Facebook. He said, what? And he came back upstairs. He was he was going door to door with the Final Call newspaper that we had. This paper right here, y'all, we passed these out.
Yes, sir. That's
he didn't know I was in Texas. I didn't know he was in Texas. This man knocked on my door. And when when he seen it was me, I told him to come back up. I said, come back up, bro. And another brother, Brother Pernell X, he's still with us right now in the nation. He was downstairs. I told him too. I said, man, come back up. And Brother Ben said, bro, he looked at me, said, it's you. I'm like, man, it's Brother. I couldn't believe. I said, Brother Ben is in my living room. I can't believe Brother Ben X is in my living room. Bro, at this time, the status that Brother Ben have now, he didn't have none of this. He didn't have none of this. And I'm looking at this little brother, man. I'm like, I said, man, I love your videos. Bro, keep doing what you're doing. He said, brother, you mind if I get this on video? He said, I do social media. He said, you mind if I get this on video and record? Can we step outside and I can record you on how we met? And we recorded that. We did that. And I didn't know. He said, I said, how's it you? Where you live at? The man told me, he said, brother, he said, I stay 5 minutes from here.
Wow.
I said, what? He said, yes, sir. He said, I stay right down the street. My face just dropped, bro. But let me say this, brothers. I knew that there was God telling me it's time. Mm-hmm. Don't pass up this opportunity. There was God coming in the person of Brother Ben X. Mm-hmm. Telling me, take it or leave it. It's time for you to make a decision. Mm-hmm. Can't nobody tell me that I'm not favored. Can't nobody tell me that Brother Winford don't belong here. Mm. To be doing what I'm doing right now, I was destined to do this. Signs and symbols are for the conscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a skill to be able to read signs and symbols as things unfold in life. If you can read these things and understand what's the meaning of these things, if you can grasp that when it's happening, you good. You'll be good.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And after that day, he gave me his information. He said, brother, come to this location. That Sunday, I went to that location and I raised my hand to become a part of the Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but at this time I forgot to tell you, at this time I had already cut my dreads. I had already cut. Old girl made me cut my dreads.
Oh, some Samson.
Bro,
Yes, you were the real delight.
Listen, man, I'm telling y'all, I bull crap y'all not. She told me, she said, ooh, I know. She said, man, you'll look good, with a low cut. Bro, my dreads was long like yours. Man, this woman talked me into cutting my dreads, bro. And she had my dreads in a bag. And she kept my dreads, homie. After me and her got into it, she kept my dreads. And I heard the stories. People were saying it too. They was like, oh man, you with Delilah. Oh God. Boy, you done slept with Delilah. Boy, she didn't cut your hair. Boy, she didn't found your strength. And people were saying, they were saying that. Bro, I cut my dreads, bro. She put them in a bag and she kept my dreads.
Wow.
I found a little doll. I found the voodoo doll that she had.
Oh wow.
And listen, bro, God is my witness. God can strike me down right now. She had a voodoo doll, brother. She had a voodoo doll, and the doll had dread. And on the doll, it had little markings on the doll. And I said, what is this? I said, what is the marking? She said, that's you. Those are your tattoos. And I said, what kind of sick stuff is this? And I told her, I said, I don't believe in this. I said, I know this ain't real. I don't believe in this. She looked at me and smiled and said, you don't got to. I do. She said, it don't matter if you believe about it or not. She said, you ain't got to believe it. And I said, are you on some voodoo stuff? And she started laughing. She was like, no, man, you all right. Bro, I'm here to tell anybody that stuff is real. It's not fake. It's real. It's real, bro. It's real. It's real.
All right, brother Win. So we've been here for a while, man. You got some story. You need to do movies. I see them joints like 3D. But I know you got a book coming out as well, man. We're gonna have you back on, bro. You family. But I wanted you to get to kind of what's going on currently. We gotta top this up. Yeah, like what's going on with the book and some of the work that you're doing right now.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
I have a book coming out, man. I have a book coming out. It's called Determined to Change. Mm-hmm. It's based on everything, pretty much what I told y'all. Not absent of the story with the chick, but just growing up, single parent, being in an environment shaped by the environment, making the wrong choices, making the wrong decisions. Based on the environment and end up going to prison, stuff like that, being, and understanding the reality of what prison does, what it's meant for, having to find your own self in solitude confinement, and being blessed and gifted to find yourself in a condition like that. And and that's what Determined to Change is. And everything that I've been explaining to y'all the whole time, I've been saying in my head and in my spirit, I can't go out like this. I have to continue to be determined. I gotta change my life. I can't go back. So I gotta keep going forward. Why is God continue to allow me to escape these things that I'm going through? He's steady allowing me to escape. And I'm knowing God has chosen me And it's just speaking about how I came into the teachings and, you know, having these little petty jobs, how I was able to have a vision and look beyond my current condition, knowing that whatever current situation this is, it does not dictate who you really are. It's just a temporary situation that you're going through. So trust the process. Continue to feed on the word of God and trust the process, because God's thoughts are not our thoughts. Not saying that God is something outside of us, but it's an intelligence in the human being that you cannot comprehend. And God will allow these things to come into fruition to put you in a better position for yourself. And now those things are happening to me now. I've been out 5 years. They put me on 5-year probation. I just finished my probation in October. I didn't have a dirty. I didn't never have to go in front of no PO for nothing. I passed all of that. I broke the 87 recidivism rate of going back to prison.
There you go.
I'm not in that number. I passed that already. You know, so I'm determined to change. The book is finished. The book was finished in September, actually, but one of the publisher of my book ended up getting sick. Miss Connie had got sick. You know, y'all knew we were praying for her. She was in the hospital for like a month, right? And you know, becoming an author and you know, stepping out on the ledge, man, and doing things and putting your faith in things and becoming an entrepreneur, becoming an author, putting these things out, it's not as easy as people think it is. I look at you, Sean, all the time, and you always, I can't never get you out of my mind when you said, that's crazy. Somebody just actually bought, you know, a book, my ebook. He was like, man, somebody just actually, I just got paid from this, you know, and that was a reality to me. It connected me to you. And I was like, you was a verification. You was a verification for me and a confirmation that God is talking to God was talking to me through you just on that little incident to say, you on track. Just be patient.
That's it.
It's coming. The podcast y'all got, I got all this coming for myself. Right. And just to see y'all doing what y'all doing. Oh, and then me and Jason, you know how me and you, I call you, man, I got to get to this digital risk. I'm telling Jason, I want to do this. Jason, I want to do that. And Jason like, man, you can do it, man. You know how Jason is, man.
Yeah,
man, I can show you, man. All right, you welcome, brother. I ain't, you know, hey, holler at me, brother. You know, woo, 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 woo. So we built a rapport, and Jason was, you know, he was there to show me this and that. So you're a part of my story too. God have you in my mix. Both of y'all are in my mix. Y'all supposed to be here. We supposed to be building what we're doing with one another right now. So that's what it's all about. My book, Determined to Change, is about not giving up. It's about knowing that, hey, sometimes you got to be still in a situation. When the storm is coming, sometimes quit trying to move and lean on your own understanding and just be still. You know, so that's what it's about, man. The book is done, but Miss Connie, she's trying to, you know, get herself together. She's gaining strength, man, to come back, man. We got one last thing to do with the format of the book, but it's done and it's coming soon.
And I can't wait. Where can they go to find more information? Is it a pre-order or a wait list or anything like that?
Now, even with the pre-order, we got lead notifications where they can go to determinedtochange.org. And once you put that in, determinedtochange.org, determine to a numerical 2 change.org, you can get on the lead notification list. But that's something else that we have in the ABS department that is getting the pre-orders ready. So we can have them pre-order the book. At first, I was going to do an ebook, but then I was like, why do I need an ebook? Because everybody was like, I don't want no ebook, man. I don't want to read nothing on no computer or no laptop or my phone. I need physical, man. I need something that I could put on my shelf and I can flip pages, because it's just something about when you can have something physically and you can actually read pages. It does something to the person more than just reading something on the screen. So we went a different direction, and I was kind of, you know, disturbed by the delay, and I was like, damn, man, you know, there's another delay. But then God had to reshape me and reform me and say, hey, look, it's gonna get it. It's coming. It's coming. Just be patient. Just be patient. So I got all that coming, man. You can find me on Instagram, Knowledge5845, or you can go to Facebook and just type up my name, Winford Perry, on Facebook, man. So I'm working, man. I'm not losing myself. I'm just being patient, and I'm enjoying building and building new relationship with you brothers and other brothers, and coming into this new position of the culture officer with ABS. I know we've been doing a lot of talking, but that's another story. And I'm gonna show y'all how I position myself, because Jason, know I was going through it with Pepsi. Jason was right there with me, man, brother. This and that, this and that, this and that. Oh, Pepsi trying to get me, Jason. Don't let him get you, brother. You gonna win. You gonna win. Don't let him get you, brother. And here it is now. I didn't left that job. I didn't let that go. And now I'm traveling. I've been to Philly. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to LA. We going to Florida. I'm moving around. I'm a part of the ABS movement. You understand me? And I got bigger things and bigger positions that are coming for me in the ABS Corporation.
Wow. Wow. Well, you got an amazing story. I'm going to let my man Jason hit some closing remarks. What you got for me, Jason? It's an instant classic, man. It's a banger, bro. Man. It's a banger. You killed it, bro. You really did, man. You did. You got a story, man.
I'm so proud of Brother Winford, man, because listen, when we used to talk, like, I can hear, like, you know, the strain on him when he was dealing with that company. Yes, and I was like, Brother Winford, I say, I see it in you. I say, yes, don't just stay the pal. I say, yes, I ain't never seen nobody like that. I said, bro, I see it in you. And when he told me about that book,
yes, sir.
As soon as he said, I said, you in there.
Yes, so sir.
It was just it's just I just can't, let me get myself together. It's just a blessing to eat and be around people like that. It's like I was just telling y'all earlier, it's just so much. And sometimes it's hard for me to bear because I be in so much awe and amazement. But this right here, like the name of this podcast needs to be The Story of Brother Winford.
Yeah.
Because it's so much from his beginning to the girl trying to put the roots on everything from right now to where you can see the beginning of a legend.
Yes, sir.
Man, yes, sir. That's my ending words, man. I'm so proud, bro. I'm just blessed to know.
Yes, sir. I'm humble, brother. I'm humble.
And thank you, brother. You I know people that have been in similar situations that have a lot of guilt, that have a lot of shame around their story. You know, and I believe that, you know, your testimony is how you free others, right? You free yourself once you out of the shame and the guilt of what you went through. But you also free other people and you enlighten them and you connect with them on a way. So I just appreciate you for not holding. I feel like you told it. Like sometimes you're like, I don't believe I'm saying this. Like, man, God honors that, man. And I really believe it's going to be a lot of blessings that's going to come from this, man. And a lot of people are going to be healed and overcome by the things that you told us. So it's way bigger than just us in this situation. But I was just happy to that's why I let you flow, man. I usually kind of try to control it and try to do that. But after a while, you know, I feel like the God within you was speaking. And I know that's the biggest thing. So I'm just very grateful that you use this platform to be able to just be so candid, because this is where the people are. You know, the situation that you're going through, it's a brother that's about to come home tomorrow, come home on Monday. And it's going to go through the same thing, man. And ain't nobody really keeping it real. We telling these brothers, you know, like these halfway truths about situations. So you heard it right here from a brother's mouth that has went through it and is on the other side. And I'm sure he still had his shortcomings, and I'm sure it's still things he struggled with. Absolutely. But to still be here determined to change. I think that's such an awesome, you know, title, because that's what it is. You have to have a mind made up. So thank you for that, man. I appreciate y'all. You know, we're going to go to our outro. Yes, sir, man. Follow my man, and y'all continue to stay in there with us, man, as we continue to grow this podcast.
Absolutely. Peace. And y'all doing an amazing job, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Peace, y'all.
All right. Peace.
We invented everything. Yeah, thank God I'm black. Thank God I'm black. Thank God I'm black. We invented